Good late evening, peoples. Back at you with Roundhill. How we doing with our weekly payers? All right, and I have good news for you. A lot of you probably know if you own it. Rdte, better known as a Russell 2000 weekly paying index income fund from Roundhill is now has its first distribution. It launched on September the 10th, and this is the first payday on Friday. Again, all of these funds, as a reminder, I'll go back over when I do the summary, but let's jump in here. Let's do the S&P 500, Xdte. What did it pay? Well, this fund dropped. Qdte, the NASDAQ 100, went up. And this already, the previous week on 9/18 was one of the lower ones. Remember, I marked these in yellow. So the only times that this fund paid the same or lower were 6 occurrences, right? Now we have a situation where we added one more, right? If you want to make this one yellow from this previous week, right? Because it was underneath it. But actually, what I tried to do is get that paid less than this. So the yellow ones, except for this one, so you really only have 5 instances. Last time we had 6, but so we're going the wrong way on the S&P 500, guys. I'm a little surprised because the markets to me are in the process of topping. They're moving up, so I don't entirely get it. Could have been some poor call execution. I'm not sure. Um, but it's still an 18.5% yield, and the overall XDTE price is up, right? So that will affect the yield a little bit, but not when this drops. If this stayed the same and this was higher, then your yield's going to go down, but we dropped in our actual payment. All right, guys, so going on, let's take QDTE. And as you can see, it was up 6 cents. So it's 33% higher just on the 6 cents. So, and it was higher here, but despite that, with a higher payout, we had a 31.42. So you all know that I'm going to go over to my summary sheet in a minute. So on the weekly change, this is up. So remember, you guys that are owning these, you want the price of the underlying to go up as well as the payment so that you're making money on the NAV increase and in your distribution, so your total return is higher. Okay, so summary of all 3 of these that I'm going to show you. It's declared, after midnight on the end of the 24th going into the 25th. And then, so you have to buy today if you want to receive this. If you wait and buy pre-market on the 26th during the market, you will not get the dividend. You must buy on 9/25 Wednesday. And when will you be paid on 9/27? How much will you be paid for QDTE? 25 plus cents, over 25 and a half cents. What will you be paid on the same dates and everything for XDTE? A lot less, people. And it's a higher priced fund, 1881. All right, let's go down to our newbie. Welcome, RDTE. RD2T. What's the Star Wars? RT, R2D2. I think that's the robot. Maybe I'm dating myself, people. But I was old when that came out. So what does that tell you? I know, I know. All right. So nice payment, 36 cents. It put to shame these other guys, yielding 41.77. The Russell's been on a tear. Okay, so I'm going to show you on the other sheet, it launched at $42 on September 10th. It's up 44.86. I don't have a comparison week, right? And actually what will happen is I'll move 10.2 above this. So it should kind of look like this, peoples. I was just trying to give you an idea of the pay, 2, 9, 16, like that. Declaration dates. Okay. So let's get over where it counts and let's talk about summary data. All right, so here we go with Xdte. Both these other funds launched on March 7th. This guy is September the 10th, so obviously new, and it takes a couple weeks to get all these daily options that they sell so they can collect money. Look at the return though. This thing, 42 to 44.86, you talk about coming into the market at the right time. Now, I could argue if my bearish outlook in 30 or 60 days, this thing could be 38 or 39 or 37, right? And all of a sudden, so whenever you're new, that's why funds don't buy other ETFs and things sometimes for 3 years. And people say, well, man, they're late to the table. Well, they also won't know what it's going to do over time, which isn't bad. But again, the market is made up of cycles, right? And anybody who watched my Misty, I'm dedicating a video to what I see the market's doing in a week, in 2 weeks, and in 13 months. Okay. And I got a lot of comments already. I need to make the video because all I can do is say what I think, and people say, "Well, what makes you think that?" It sounds like you're just making it up. You don't know what it's going to do. You're right. I don't know. Would I bet my life on it? No. But would I say a high probability if I had to pick in 30 days where the market's going to be, and if I'm more than 10% off, and I bet my life, I'd say the market in 30 days is going to be down 5 to 15% from where we are now. If I had to be within a 10%, I wouldn't say it's going to be up 3%. I wouldn't say it's going to be up 5%. I could go in the middle and say I think it'll be down 10% 30 days from now. So that's what you really want to ask somebody. If you had to bet your life, what would you bet? It's a guess, people, but it's an educated and a strong probability guess based on a lot of things. All right, let's keep this going positive here. So, what I like about Rdte, you guys all know this return is what did it yield, right? This is simply a yield return. And then we multiply it by how many days that are left in the cycle. So we've completed 202 days if you owned it since the beginning. So you have 1.8 to get to an annualized return. So that's what 22 and 33 are, is a 1.8 times these numbers. So the dividend annualized are these numbers. Look at this. It got 36 cents, right? In 1 week. So you figure if it got that in 52 weeks, it would have a dividend annualized rate of 44. It's easy to do in 1 week to make this really high or make it really low if the week is good or bad. But over here, also in a little more than 1 week, because I'm using 910, right? I'm saying, okay, I'm using the same logic. It doesn't matter the investment money, but I'm using the same logic. I bought it when it launched. How am I doing? Well, I got 6.81% return gain on my stock, right? I bought it at 42. It's now worth 44.86. If I annualize that, wow, right? Because that's only 15 days. It's 20.93% because this is 0.86, right? So what do I do to get my total return? This would be if my dividend paid me for 52 weeks, 36 cents, and I know what I bought the stock at, I'd have a 44.5% dividend yield. And then I would have a 20% gain if every 15 days I was up 0.86%. That's how that, or sorry, 6.81. So it just keeps going, people. So you'd have a 65% annualized. Again, it needs a lot more data to be, but look at these. Most people favor QDTE, and this week it outperformed. But how's it done since March 7th? It hasn't outperformed. This guy, because of its minuscule loss, right? It doesn't have a loss. It has a $4.57. Whoops, that's not right. Gain loss dollars. F6. Oh yeah, that's based on that. So it's got a very slight gain, 52.7 to 52.46. So it's got a little tiny 0.46. And when you take it over a year, it has a 0.83. But what's significant about that is my dividend yield, which is 22%. This kills it, right? It gets a 33. But what happens? I don't have any negative of losing on the stock. So I take 22.08 and 0.83 and I get 22.91. Over here, I have a 33% dividend yield based on all the payout so far, which is over half a year. But I have an 8.51%. I went from 46.44 to 42.49, almost $4. So annualized, that's 15% that I lose off that. So that's how these numbers work, peoples. All right. So that's it. I'm going to let you go. Look for my video probably tomorrow. I have a few more coming, but the one on my short, a week basis, what I think when we start to decline, how much we decline maybe over 30 days, and how much do we decline over 13 months. All right, peoples, that's what I got. Again, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Hopefully, it's entertaining. All right, people, bye for now.